Hello, beautiful Cancers. Welcome back to New Hope Tarot. We're going to be doing your reading for the first half of February. For this reading, we're going to be using 2 tarot decks and 2 oracle decks. I have meditated upon the cards and I have pre-shuffled, but as always, I shuffle live. And as always, if this reading does resonate with you, please like, share, subscribe, and comment. I really appreciate it. And please hit the little bell so that you get notified when the next video comes out. Death card is the first oracle card that came out. Let's take a look at the second oracle card. So far, Cancer, what I'm seeing is that you have to allow something to die in order for you to move forward, in order for you to transition into the person you want to be, or in order to transition to a more fruitful individual with a more fruitful life. But overall, I feel like this is more about letting something die emotionally. Letting go of something that is in the past, but for some reason it is resounding in your mind over and over. I get the image of Snow White and the apple. That's the image that I'm getting with this card. I'm not exactly sure why Spirit is showing me this particular image. It's like, you know how Snow White dies, but she's really in a super deep sleep, kind of. But she's dead, really. But she's in that cast, or in that glass cast. And eventually she does awaken because she is kissed, I believe. I don't remember how the story goes, but either way, I feel like you have been in this state for quite some time. The next oracle card that I received was Begin. May you start as if you already begun. And I feel with this is really just once you allow something to die is really when life is going to begin. And it's got the imagery of a, what is this called? I don't know what this is called. Like a stairwell, like a long, you know, when you go to the beach and you have the wooden steps to go down to the actual beach. I don't know what that's called. It's like a decking stair. I don't know. It's like long and narrow. And I feel like you have to walk this long and narrow pathway in order to become alive. And I feel you think of this as a long, narrow pathway. But in reality, it really isn't that far to walk to get to that beach. I feel also that you're very resistant to this change. And don't shoot the messenger, I'm sorry. Almost like your view of things is like you have blinders on. And if you are dealing with a Cancer, if you're a cross watcher and you're watching this, and you're dealing with a Cancer, then you might see their way of seeing things as narrow-minded. All right. I have the Five of Cups, the Justice card. Yeah, you're definitely mourning over something. Like you have things in front of you and you're not even focused on all the other possibilities that you have. You're focused on the wallowing and all the hurt that you have, and the Eight of Swords. And honestly, I feel like you feel justified in feeling this way. And you, it's like almost like you're like, well, why did this person hurt me? What did I do? But you're not even seeing your fault in this, in whatever occurred. I don't know what occurred. And this is just one thread, so I want to make sure that you guys you hear all of the threads. But before I continue, I just want to make sure that I'm really looking into all of these cards and pick up on all the threads before I continue here. So allow me one moment. Let me just dive deep into these cards. So I'm getting three different threads on this. So what I'm going to do, because sometimes when you read or when I read and you're kind of going all over the place, I feel like it's a lot more difficult to follow. So what I'm going to do, what I'm going to try to do, I should say, is I'm going to attempt to follow one thread through, then the second, and then the third. If a fourth one emerges, then I will do the fourth one. But I'm going to attempt to do the first, second, and then third. And then I'll do the clarification cards. So with the Death card, I'm getting a few things. So remember I said about, the apple and Snow White and falling asleep and transformation and all of that, right? So with this card, I'm seeing, and please take this as it resonates, leave what doesn't, because everybody is different. So with the first strain, and here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say all three strains on the first one, but I'm not going to follow through. I will reiterate when I do the second one. The first strain that I'm seeing is you have to allow things to die with this Death card. And the reason why is because with this Begin card, it's telling me that you're really holding on so tightly onto something, and you are really afraid of change. It's like change really, really, really scares you. And with this Begin card, it says, may you start as if you have already begun. What this is encouraging you to do is it's all a mindset. And when I'm looking at this imagery, what it's telling me is that change does not need to occur all at once, but a step at a time, and it could be done in very micro intervals. You don't have to do them in huge leaps. you can absolutely do them in micro steps, like little tiptoes. That's totally fine. And then that way it's not as scary. With the Five of Cups, with that first thread, I feel as if a lot of you are holding on to a preconceived notion, whether it was placed there by, a past trauma or your ancestors, the way you grew up, and that is how you think now. This isn't something that you just picked up and go, oh, this is how I'm going to think. It isn't that. This is something that was embedded in you from a very, very, very young age. And with the Justice card, what this is saying is that you feel justified in your views, and don't shoot the messenger. I'm just reading the cards. And this is quite possibly why you're feeling so stuck with this Eight of Swords, right? You really don't. It's not that you don't see a way out. It's just that you don't feel, because Eight of Swords is like a card of being trapped, right? But the reality is that you don't feel trapped because you don't feel like you're incorrect. I'm not saying you are. I'm not saying you're not. What I'm saying is that, because I don't know what you're thinking, what I'm saying is that others around you feel that you're stuck in your way of viewing things because you have a preconceived notion about how things need to be, and you feel justified in the way you see things even when it doesn't even pertain to you. It's like you have to put in your 2 cents with this Justice card, yet when it's not needed, right? It's like the person is here holding, the person here is holding 2 things like, oh, well, hey, this is what we're doing. And then, here you come along and you put in like a bunch of change on one side. And you're like, well, here you go. And they're like, well, no, I wasn't asking for your opinion. I'm stating a fact. Judgment has no place here. That's the first string that I'm getting. And please, Cancers, don't shoot the messenger. I am just reading. So if this is going to be helpful for you, then really, you have to take a good look at yourself. Right? We're none of us are perfect. We all have things that we need to work on. Right? But if a relationship that is very, very important to you and it's on shaky grounds right now because of something like this, well, we all need to look at ourselves, right? So that person needs to look at how they deal with things. You need to deal with how you deal with things. We all have our own part in each situation. Okay? The second thread that I have here. What's the second thread? Let's take a look here real quick. Okay. With the Death card, I feel like a change is occurring, which it might be making you feel vulnerable. You might not be aware of the change, but it's like it's making you feel uncomfortable, even though you might not see it. Okay, and for that, for the second one where it's begin. Again, it says, begin, may you start as if you have already begun. With this begin card, basically what it's stating is view change as the prelude to something better, right? So, yes, change can be uncomfortable. and you might be feeling a little raw right now, but the reality is that this change is going to set you up to something better, okay? With this Five of Cups here, honestly, what I'm getting is that this change is really for your betterment. It's like you can mourn what you're going to be losing if you want, but really focus on what that change is going to bring, because this Five of Cups, this person is looking at what he's lost, but he's not looking at the tree that's completely full of golden apples or whatever it is that is on that tree. I don't know. It's some sort of golden fruit. Maybe it's a golden apple. We're going back to that apple from the Death card. But yeah, he's more focused on that than on everything else that is around him. All right. And with the Justice card, here, it's like you're not wanting to tip the scales one way or the other. It's like, no, I just want it to be even, right? Because you're so afraid of this change. And what this Justice card is telling you is that it's not about tipping the scales. This is for your good. You can't see it right now, but it really, really is. And this Eight of Swords here for you, again, this card is about feeling trapped, but I feel for you, it's that you're going to start to see that you had, it was a fear. It was really the fear of the unknown, because this person is just sitting, alone, and there's nothing really going on around them. And really they're just bound and blindfolded. And if they take off their blindfold, they go, oh, this is it? It was all in my head? I was really afraid of what, really? Right? So this particular card for you is telling me, is telling you rather, that you're going to start to see that all you had to do was remove your blindfold, and you're going to go, oh, I was scared for no reason. That's really what this is saying. Okay, now for thread number 3. For this Death card, I'm seeing that don't overly focus on any one thing that may need to fall away, or that has to fall away. Rather, allow things to just enter into your life so that things may fall away naturally. Okay? With this Begin card, what I'm getting with this thread is that there's the ocean, and the ocean is, it's salt water, and salt water is cleansing. And this card is basically advising you to renew your spirits, refresh yourself. It's like taking a bath and allow the dirt, the old things to... It's not like when you're, when you're taking a bath or when you're taking a shower, you're focused on the dirt. You're not focused on the dead skin cells that are on you. You're focused on the dirt. Oh, okay, well, I'm focused on the dirt, right? And you're rinsing your body, but you don't realize that in doing that, you're also rinsing off or scrubbing off the dead skin cells, which will allow the cell turnover rate to renew your skin, right? So that your skin remains soft. So very similar, the salt water is cleansing and it allows you to renew your spirit. So it's allowing things to fall away, but you're not really paying attention that they're falling away. Why? Because you're more focused about the good, and then the more good that comes in, the more bad's gonna go away. All right? With the Five of Cups here, with the third thread, what I'm seeing here is that it's okay to move forward without holding on to the past, but you can still allow the memories to be carried with, right? Just because you move on from something doesn't mean that the memories aren't there, right? So this is actually a very warming card for you to remind you it's okay to move forward. Whatever has occurred, whether it's someone who's passed or a relationship that's passed or a job, whatever that is, it's okay to allow that to go and focus on moving forward. And you can still have those happy memories, because 10 years down the line, you're gonna talk about those funny things and those, those stories. With the Justice card in this particular thread, I feel like you're going to be rewarded from in the forward motion that you're doing. You're going to be rewarded. And then with the Eight of Swords here, it's like you'll recognize this feeling of moving forward and what it felt like to be trapped. And you're going to be like, well, I don't ever want to be there again. So this memory is going to be stuck in your mind on how you felt, what's the word I'm looking for? Resistant towards change. And you're going to go, you know what? I didn't like that. Now that I know what it looks like, and that it was really just about the unknown, although it might still scare me, I'm more willing to do it. That's what I'm getting with these three strains. While I was doing those three threads, not strains, strain sounds like a virus. While I was reading those three threads, I was searching for a fourth one, but I could not find a fourth one. I know, because three was not enough. No, there was a lot of energy going on there, and a lot of resistance. Resisting energy is coming from the cards. All right, let's see. Let's clarify the Five of Cups. The Five of Pentacles. So Five of Pentacles is really about some hardship, and it did come out in reverse. So this tells me that the hardship that is occurring is more mental and self-induced than anything, than any worldly thing. Although it feels like your reality, that's what I'm picking up, and that holds true for all three threads. For the Justice card, I get the Ace of Swords, and this came out sideways. So the Ace of Swords is about forward. It's about success, a victory, right? So as I mentioned to the third thread, that you'll be rewarded. And that's true. I feel like that you would be rewarded if you do make that forward movement. So if you do move forward, you are going to have some sort of success in whatever that is, and make clear-cut decisions. But because it came up sideways, I have to give the versions for both. For those who are not wanting to move, you're going to be stuck. I mean, that's really what it is. It's because it's ultimately up to you and how you want to move forward. All right. This card is basically saying it's your move. How are you going to decide moving forward how you are going to go from here? And with the Eight of Swords, we have let me 1 second. Whoop. Just a whole bunch of cards. Let's see. Let's clarify okay. The Eight of Swords, we have the Eight of Pentacles. All right. So the Eight of Pentacles to me is a card of focus and learning for me. Although I feel like the Five of Wands is also learning. But in this particular case, with the Eight of Pentacles, it did come up straight. And it's basically saying for those that, for thread 1, educate yourself in what others see and how their point of view is and how their stands are and how you differ from that. And pay attention to why it is you are so focused in the way you want things done, even though it has nothing to do with you. So be mindful of that. That's what this is saying. And again, Cancer, I'm not being judgmental. I'm reading to you what I'm seeing in the cards and what Spirit is telling me. And for thread B, let's see here. Yeah, I feel with the second thread, I feel... Did I say thread B? Oh my gosh. With the second thread, I feel like this is about balance. Even though the Six of Pentacles is the one about balance, or the Six of Cups is about balance, I feel this is... because we have the Eight of Swords and the Eight of Pentacles, I feel like it's balancing each other out. You're going to see that all you had to do was remove it, and then you're going to start remove your blindfold, and you're going to start seeing, oh, this is what... And again, it's not just about change, because you are still going to be afraid of the unknown. That's for sure. But you're going to have more balance moving forward and more education, because you've experience moving forward, that you're like, okay, I'm better prepared this time. Not to say that you won't be scared, but you'll be better prepared for it. And for the third thread, I feel like it's going to be the same thing. It's like you recognize that feeling, and, well, not necessarily the same thing. With a third thread, it's like you recognize that feeling and you don't ever want to be there again. So I feel moving forward for the third thread, what you're going to be doing, or what I suggest doing. Well, actually, I suggest this for all of you, but what I suggest doing is, and again, take my suggestion, don't take it. Free will, do whatever it is you want. But I mean, you're listening to this for a reason, right? I feel like what you're going to do moving forward is that you're going to do a little bit more research into what changes are before you're so resistant against the change, so resistant against the change that once you educate yourself on what those changes are, I feel like you're going to understand it better and you're more receptive to it moving forward. Yeah. That's what I have for the three of you. For all of you. But the three threads. Oh my gosh. All right. That is what I have, my dear Cancers. I hope this reading was helpful. If it was, you know what to do. Until we meet again. Bye.